I do think one of the most interesting stories is Aaron Rodgers being cleared to return to practice earlier today. That's right. I did not stutter. Aaron Rodgers cleared to return to practice today. Seems rather quick, seems rather early. But I did tell you that, we've seen other athletes return in the 6-7 month variety. Obviously, this is a shorter window. It was a different procedure he had done, and it's going to be interesting. What you're hearing from a lot of people is they're 4-7. They have no quarterback. It's an uphill climb. Yeesh. I don't know. The offensive line's not great anyway. Why would he return, right? Is that fair, Jay Stu? Is that a thought that goes through your mind? Why would Aaron Rodgers possibly return to a team that feels like they're bordering on no hope?
Was it Ricky Waters who famously said, "For who, for what"? I just don't see the Jets winning anytime soon. And if what you have said is true in the past, which is, hey, the Achilles might be as strong as it's ever going to be, but it's what you do to make up for it, and the other injury that might be catastrophic. I don't know why you would play this year, or other than to prove that you're like superhuman or something.
Okay, I think I know the answer. And the answer comes from my favorite movie. Do you guys know what my favorite movie is? Do you remember? Anyone?
The Hunt for Red October or A Few Good Men?
No, I like both of them. Smokey and the Bandit's my favorite movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Smokey and the Bandit. And here's the thing with Smokey and the Bandit. Do you guys remember the premise of the movie at all?
Of course.
What was it?
It's like getting warm Coors across borders, and it was illegal or something. And then
not warm Coors,
or cold Coors, because it had to be cold or something.
No, it was just you couldn't transport Coors beer to the other side. There used to be an actual law that you couldn't take Coors beer. I don't know if it was outside of state lines or you couldn't ship it past the Rocky Mountains. Right? There really was a regionality to it. And so the plan was there was a guy, Big Enos Burdett. And Big Enos Burdett found the Bandit and offered him ungodly sums of money because he was having a big party at a NASCAR race in Atlanta to bring a truck of Coors beer, okay, that couldn't go past, I guess, Texarkana, Texas. That's where the beer was. I think you couldn't go east of Texas with Coors beer. If you went east of Texas, it was considered bootlegging. So Big Enos Burdett and Little Enos Burdett paid the Bandit a bunch of money and the Snowman to go and steal a truck full of beer. And when the Snowman asked the Bandit why they were doing it, do you know what his response was?
No idea.
Because they said it couldn't be done. That's why. And if you know anything about Aaron Rodgers, he is that guy that sometimes wants to do something just because you said he couldn't. Everybody knows, everybody has a little bit of that in their lives, but we all know somebody who, like, the reverse psychology of it is so super easy. Just tell them the opposite, tell them they can't do it, and they'll just do it just to prove you wrong. Little kids are this way in that if you can make anything into a race or something timed, if you have a younger child, like I used to do this all the time with my kids. Like you couldn't get them to brush their teeth and go to the bathroom and wash their hands before they went to bed. But if I time you, hold on, dude, let me time you, see how fast you can do it. If you can brush your teeth and go pee and wash your face and then get back in bed, how fast can you do it? Suddenly they go from moving like a sloth to moving like, what was that snail in the movie that won the Indy 500?
Was it Turbo?
Huh? What was the name of that snail?
The snail's name was Turbo, right?
Turbo was the name, right? They go from moving like a sloth to moving like Turbo, right? Kids will do it sometimes because you say you can't do it, but most times they'll do it because they need some sort of reward or motivation, a little Pavlovian thing, give you a cookie, give you ice cream, whatever. More than anything, like my kids, it was always like, my son, what if I time you? You would say time them, they'd be like, oh my God, it's unbelievable. They completely flip out. Some adults are this way, where they only want to do things because you said you can't do it. No, don't think you can do it. Don't think you can do it. Because there's no other real reason. Aaron Rodgers is Mr. Defiance. Right now, all of a sudden, he wants to play a bunch more years. Why? Because people said he couldn't. You know, you almost feel like he won 2 MVP awards because the Packers thought maybe we'll move on from him. We'll draft an eventual replacement in a quarterback. All of these things because you said he couldn't do it. So why would Aaron Rodgers try to come back sooner from a potentially catastrophic injury when he's playing on a likely non-playoff team just to put himself out there in harm's way where slipping on that same terrible turf, could cause a greater injury? And I agree with you. The other side to it is I think one of the reasons that people hurt themselves, and it's not their Achilles, is because during the process of rehab, they've only worked on the Achilles. Their whole body is out of balance, out of alignment, and that causes additional injuries. Totally get that. And I'm guessing that one of the things that Aaron Rodgers thinks is because I've sat out a shorter period of time, because I've trained and rehab better, because my whole body's in better shape than it's ever been, that won't happen to me. No one thinks it's ever going to happen to him, and maybe he's right. But I think the biggest reason that Aaron Rodgers is going to do it is going to come back sooner rather than later and going to try and play this year, even if it doesn't mean you're playing for a playoff spot, is because they said it couldn't be done. Which is the same reason that the Bandit. Same reason the Bandit, Smokey is Jackie Gleason. Same reason the Bandit and the Snowman went to go get Coors beer from Texarkana, Texas, and get it back to Atlanta in less than 48 hours because they said it couldn't be done.